This is the iPod 5th generation, one of Apple's best iPods in my opinion, as it's one of the most commonly used iPods during its time. Today is a very special day as it is the iPod 5th generation's birthday. This iPod was a game changer in so many ways, as it revolutionized the way we listen to music. We've gone from paying $100+ just for music to only having to pay as little as $10 per month to listen to pretty much any song we want at a higher quality. It's crazy to think that it's been 18 years since its release. To start things off, let's talk about the iPod 5th generation's features. Not only could this revolutionary device play music, it could also view pictures by dropping them into iTunes, and then putting those pictures inside of the photo section of the iPod. You can watch videos and movies on there, but it's a little bit limited. Your video or movie has to be downgraded in terms of scale and frame rate, but besides this, it must have been really cool back then. There's an extra section of the iPod which involves a menu which contains a clock, game section, contacts, notes, stopwatch and screen lock. The clock app allows you to view the date and time of any country you'd like, although I'm not sure if those times are correct or not. The fun part of this iPod was the game section, which had Brick, Music Quiz, Parachute and Solitaire. Most of these games were pretty playable by utilising the iconic touch-sensitive wheel that made navigating around the iPod a breeze. It honestly is not as bad as it looks when in use. There was a contact section as well, which is pretty cool. You had to make your own contacts, then export them onto the iPod, similar how you transfer music or pictures. Here's what a contact would have looked like. Okay, let's talk about sound. The sound quality from the iPod 5th generation was nothing short of remarkable, setting a new benchmark for most MP3 players / music players during its time. Now I'll give an honest review of the sound quality in the iPod 5th generation. That Wolfson DAC in the iPod really delivered a rich and immersive listening experience in my ears. But when it came to bass, not so much. I couldn't hear much bass being outputted from my headphones, and I know it's not my headphones that's the issue, because the bass was perfect on them when used on my phone or computer. Next, we have modifications. This iPod is one of the most moddable iPods, along with the 5th generation's brother, the 5.5 gen, which was released just a year after the 5th generation. There's a Reddit post and YouTube video about how someone installed a haptic engine that responds to the click wheel. Here's a clip of the video.
We can give it a quick test. Can you hear that? That is the sound of the haptic engine working inside the iPod 7th generation. Excellent.
There's also custom firmware, especially for this line of iPod, called Rockbox. Rockbox allows you to remove the requirement for iTunes to manage music on your iPod. Rockbox also allows you to expand support for almost all audiophile formats, including lossless audio such as FLAC. There are many more mods for you to try out with this iPod. The iPod 5th generation on pretty much any iPod or MP3 player's time has come, as online streaming services have risen in popularity ever since Spotify. The era of what was once an iconic symbol of portable music has faded. Big libraries of streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music and Deezer have reshaped the way we consume music, or media in general. I can't just blame online streaming services for the death of the iPod era, but with the rise of smartphones, the need of an iPod has just disappeared. Pretty much any smartphone equipped with high quality audio hardware and vast app ecosystems can beat the iPod, but this gives us time to reflect back on what was the legend of portable music, the iPod. So to commemorate this, let's sing happy birthday for the iPod 5th generation, the best iPod to honestly have ever lived.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to iPod. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip hooray. Hip hip hooray.
If you like what you saw there, consider subscribing as it does help a lot when making my videos. The more channel expands, the more better content I can make. So consider subscribing. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Bye!